And we start this very day by making it abundantly clear that the greatest enemy of a black man is the way that we reason. If not that the way we reason is very, very abhorrent, there is no need or reason why we should be suffering and complaining every blessed day without the courage to do something about it.
I want every one of you to remember these three words. Nigerians, we are no more. Southeasterners and Southerners, we cannot become. And Biafrans, we must be.
Nigeria is the terrorist, not we, not Biafrans. So Finland, you need to get that clear first. You need to know who is committing the act of terrorism. As of today, the Nigerian state, headed by Tinubu and Christopher Musa, continues to unleash act of terrorism against innocent Biafrans. They killed.
The program you're about to watch is coming from the United States of Biafra Media, the ITPS. I want you to pay attention to every information that you're going to hear in this video. It is very educating and it will inform you of the situation in the Zoological Republic of Nigeria and what is going on in the United States of Biafra. Pay attention from the beginning to the end. Every information in this platform is very important. We are here to promote the United States of Biafra under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Ekpa Joko, and on the Supreme Command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, today under the leadership of the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Arabweze. Pay attention from the beginning to the end, and you'll be glad you did. Let's watch and hear what the media is presenting.
In this country, what do you think you take Finland for? They're watching what is happening in Nigeria. They are watching. The Kenyan people that brought Nnamdi Kanu, allowing Nnamdi Kanu to be kidnapped. Do you think that they are finding it funny? They are not finding it funny. I've been in Kenya. They're following the matter. It's not easy as you are seeing it, because one, it has also affected their own country. It shows that nobody will enter your country and be safe. The due process must be followed. Don't you know when they arrested Iboho at the Benin Republic? Malami quickly sent the jet as he sent in that of Nnamdi Kanu. What did the Benin Republic do? Say no, they're not extraditing anybody. They kept him there because there is absence of rule of law in Nigeria. There is absence of fundamental rights here.
Hey, Wana, if Obu no sokwa gi mara no wa, ebe Obu no sokwa gi toruo no wa, ma Obu na ima anything about the law, Wana, omori for Obu na ima. I watched this podcast, this interview, one of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal team, Anna Obadista Maxwell Opara. One I watched this interview, we put that na, if for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if for Mazi Simon Ekpa, these people, they made their cases. They will be working free men. Just chota no somewhere date we are sino mo agwagia. They are date to today's date. They are now sino mo agwagia. But I took it before being in the actually this settle on no down we had that table when you make data. Settle on down, watch this video. You watch your video if for that Ndibu Rogishi. This thing ana all law when there's about power. Obonema the use of it. And Obodai from my name now the armor of the rule of law, armor of the right of citizen, and the law is not even working. Set law not down. Without data, watch this video. Can you look about this Maxwell Opara we break here now down the use, the importance, and the essence of human rights. We're about law that is governing every nation. Okur about Mazi Simon Ekpa when the news of extraditing him to Nigeria was flying. He said it in this podcast. No, Nigeria. I will say that now Nigeria have the law and they don't even have anyone. Okur about the ongoing trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Man, Oga how deep in it. When man case open na court, adi eti much okunia and he's among the legal team. Actually, no idiom Ku ifeni ne ntim na abandon na this podcast. Settle on no down. Watch this video. I give credit to the Volume Podcast for putting up this video together. I watch this in video. Save way on my phone. Download way as a personal gift of myself. Actually, watch this video from beginning to the end. The bottom result my comment section. You watch this here. Jirako gonogo me bearing video. Share. Ndibo need the for this video. A lot of Biafrans need to watch the video. Not just that, Nigeria as a nation need to for this video because a lot of message, a lot of lecture then at this video. You now watch the video, chop no pen na paper. You now jot down some points. You need the market. Watch this video. I'll be right back.
For example, Nnamdi Kanu, the build up to the situation where we're having facing legal proceedings now, and I'm taking you way back into the era of his broadcast, era of his dissemination of certain kind of information, which is classified as a breach of national security. Do you think it violated the rights of the country, a country like Nigeria, with the kind and choice of words he used in expressing his opinions, his views, and well, one would say his rights?
Well, I may not go into that particular issue on the following reasons. One, I'm a member of the legal team. I'm not only a member of the legal team, I'm the oldest lawyer in this Nnamdi Kanu's legal team. All the people that I started handling this matter since 2014, 15, they've all left. All the new lawyers there now, they met me there.
Why did they leave?
It's a choice. Either you live on your own or Nnamdi Kanu message, please excuse yourself. You're not giving me what I want. So I don't want to go into that. Now, secondly, the trial is ongoing. And in our ethics, once the matter is in court, we don't speak about it. But I must say, I doubt whether there is any part of Europe that I have not stepped in my leg. And not only stepping in my leg, I have interacted with most of them. I'm a member of International Bar Association Human Rights Committee. We travel almost every 2 months. And when you see what is happening in other nations and compare with what is happening in your own, you feel ashamed. Timidi, last year, November, we went to Mexico for IBA conference. And we are discussing about Human Rights Committee in my own section. So when you want to speak, you take mic, you introduce yourself. And fortunately for me, I was happy. The Fabemi SAN, the Attorney General, was there. The then NBA President Mikel was there. I think Tamboa also was there. I have about some judges were there. Many judges, many SAN, they were there. So when I took on the mic, I introduced myself, which country I mentioned Nigeria, you see reaction. You see how people are making jest of us. So I felt somehow as a Nigerian. I said, okay, I have to control myself. I asked my question. And I used that opportunity to ask IBA. IBA should help Nigerians. Can't we, as a body of lawyers in the whole world, formulate a policy, go to UN, go to everywhere? If you are in your own country, there is absolute absence of medical, health, education, amenities, absence of a human right, you will be restricted from traveling out of your country. Or better still, all these countries, the Europe, the UK, the US, will stop giving you visa, especially medical tourism. Can't we do it in that way? I was bold enough to mention the immediate past president and the current president, President Tinubu. I use them as a case study. I say, I can't see the reason why.
Do you mean about their medical leave?
Yes, because if you're a president, and you are doing well, and you have a functional healthcare, as you let them to understand, if you are sick, you should. Have you seen Trump going outside America, coming to Nigeria to take medical treatment? No, but you go to France. So I presented it. Now, back to what we are talking about, so that I don't defeat. Human rights is one of the things that will project you. Human rights is one as a country. Let me just give Simon Ekpa.
Okay, that's a good example. I was going to go there.
As an instance, I went to Finland by March last year. I finished my program in Paris. I went to Finland. I went to understand their own judicial system. And I was made to understand that Finland is the only country in Europe that doesn't have bilateral agreement with any other country. What am I trying to say? So when they say that Finland are going to extradite Nnamdi Kanu, I look at them and laugh.
But Finland is part of EU, and I presume when you're part of a body, you're subject to some of the laws and regulations around our
No,
body.
that will not stop you from being a sovereign state. You are still a sovereign state. You know what is good for you. And as a matter of fact, international law is what I research on it in my PhD.
Okay, but I still want you to finish your point about Finland and their laws and why they will not extradite Simon Ekpa.
So that's where I'm coming. So in the course of my research during my PhD, I discovered that extradition is a very serious law. And one of the things they consider, you are a number one Boko Haram known in Nigeria. You have destroyed life. You have destroyed property. Now you have run into a particular country. Let me just use Kenya as an instance. And you are caught there as a fugitive. The extradition law said Kenya people will now apply, the country, assuming that you're in Nigeria, you apply to Kenya, telling them that this particular person, Mr. A, is a terrorist. We are looking for him. Now, Kenya the law said upon receiving your application,
Yes.
they will arrest the fugitive. And they took the fugitive to their own court, that with jurisdiction. Example, if it's Nigeria Federal High Court. Now you attach the investigation report in that application. You attach the charge you have preferred for the person. You attach everything, evidence.
But if that is the scenario,
I'm coming.
I'm just thinking of Interpol also being involved.
I'm coming.
Yes.
So they're working together. Because remember that it's Interpol that will still come and pick the person.
Mm-hmm.
So when you now attach all these documents, the law said, extradition law said, upon seeing all these things with your evidence, they will now approach court. The court will now ask the person, fair hearing, you committed this offense. Tell us the reason why we should not take you to your country or to the country in question for you to go and face a trial. After hearing from you, the next step is, one, to check that country whether there is human rights there. I thank God that you brought in this issue, and I believe that our leaders will hear it. They will check the level of human rights there. If you are the country that observe human rights, that one is one. They will not check whether your life will be protected there. After checking that your life will be protected, they will not check whether you have justice there.
So what if in a scenario, and I'm following you carefully,
yes,
when it comes to procedure,
yes,
and the procedure is on one part, yes, and there's also the contingency of if such a person, even when there are procedures around what they can do or whether they're fugitive or not, if such a person still continues to embark on, let's say, a call to action, a certain level of call to action, where what is being accused of...
Remember
yes,
that the person is already in the custody in that country.
Yes, but has not hesitated to possibly continue to disseminate his call to action through his disciples, if I would say.
No, that one is a different ballgame.
Why is it different?
The different ballgame is that the person is, you said, you want to extradite him to the country. That is the issue. We are talking about, I want to link it up to tell you the reason why human rights, because we are talking about human rights. I'm just giving you implications why you should ensure that you observe human rights in your country. I wish that I have time, so that it's good that when this kind of program, especially human rights, you let people understand. I'm still at the international level. I've not come to the domestic level. Why I'm talking about this international level is that it's the one that affects I and you. It's not enough for you to go and convince somebody to come, a foreign investor, to come and invest in your country. There are some things that they will check, especially human rights, rule of law. So after all these things, the law said, having checked this thing, if they discover that there is no human right in your country, that country will not check whether they have the same law with that country, especially Kenya, using Kenya and Nigeria, whether that terrorism offense which we have sent, that there is evidence, whether Kenya can try it. So if Kenya can try it, the law said try him in Kenya.
So let me understand a little bit more, and I'm trying to understand perspective. And I do know, for example, Simon Ekpa's case with Finland. I don't know if it's a case, but it's of interest to organizations around the world,
Yes.
both some of the UN organizations and every of the other bodies.
Yes.
And I can imagine that if that was done against Finland, certain statements about what needs to be done, right, against Finland as a country, will they sit and be quiet about it? And then it brings forward the question about what about in good faith? If peradventure, I mean, there are cases such as Julian Assange, right? Leaked cases, he has human rights, he stays in an embassy. I don't even know which embassy he is now, but it's of interest that when you do disseminate information, whether true or not true, or you have statements that have strong implications to national security of another country, there should be response from the host country, don't you think so?
Femidi, we are talking about law. We're talking about the rule of law. Femidi, do you know that if we go out here and go forbid, we saw armed robbers killing people alive. The judge saw the armed robbers kill the person with the AK-47. The Attorney General saw it. The Nigerian Bar Association saw it. Everybody witnessed it. Evidence are there. The law said the procedure must be followed. You must get him arrested. That's what we are talking about law. You must get him arrested. Not only getting him arrested, you must subject him to investigation. Police will investigate him. He will write a statement. After writing statement, he will bring his own lawyer to give him fair hearing. After giving him fair hearing, you arraign him in that court. Remember that the judge, when he was going to work, witnessed everything.
Yes.
The judge will allow prosecution to prove his case. Femidi, do you know that when you go to court and the man said, guilty or not guilty, I'm guilty, convict me. The law said, judge, you cannot convict. Prosecution, prove your case. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying.
I do follow you.
The law will say, prosecution, prove your case. And if you charge him for armed robbery and murder, and there is 4 elements for you to prove murder, there's 4 elements for you to prove armed robbery. If you prove 3.5, if you do not prove the other half, you'll be set free. Remember that has accepted, though. He has pleaded guilty. Court will say, prove your case. And where he failed to prove all those elements, court will change that his guilty to no guilty.
So despite the fact that the person on trial says, I am guilty,
You prove it.
the prosecution has to prove it.
You must prove it.
And if they can't prove it completely, the judge will rule
We
against
convert that his guilty to non-guilty and discharge him.
It brings me forward to the question of some
Right.
of the arrests in the country as we have it going on, including Nnamdi Kanu, which you one of the
Do you know why I'm giving you this instance?
Yes.
Do you know why I don't want to bring Nnamdi Kanu's own? Because it's on trial. But I'm giving you a scenario that is related to that.
Oh yes, I understand the scenario game, and I do believe the others are following through.
So people want Simon Ekpa to come down here and face his trial. That's what people. That's major.
Really?
That is the question. Now, tell me the reason why Finland refused. The woman who was the ambassador of Finland that time, when they met him, he said Nigeria should do their own. Nigeria should. Nobody is happy. I'm living in Nigeria here as an ambassador of a Finnish government to this place. But Nigeria should do their own. What is their own? The first time they took Nnamdi Kanu to court in their own, Nnamdi Kanu brought only 2 judgments. Look at the 2 judgments. Court ordered that Simon Ekpa brought the 2 judgments. Only 2 judgments. Show the court. Look at the 2 judgments given by the court in Nigeria, asking that they should release Nnamdi Kanu. They refuse. So, these are the countries that are civilized, and that is what is making me to be.
So there's a mountain of evidence. And this evidence, and I do say, because I'm just following through with some of, and I know it's an ongoing case, so there's a limit to how we could put perspective to it.
Yes.
But for the purpose of understanding how things are so far, last week it was about the fact that, he said certain words during the broadcast. And I just want to talk about the broadcast because now the broadcast is being brought into court. But let's talk about the broadcast, which is the Radio Biafra and all those kind of conversations that were held. And I'm taking, because it's a case, the federal government versus Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
Well, I'm just thinking about Nigerians. Now, Nnamdi Kanu's perspective on Nigerians. Nnamdi's perspective on the concept of the Southeast Bloc pretty much standing in its own, and his method of administering what some of his followers should do. And this is completely out of the court case because it's a federal government process that. So we're treating about Nnamdi Kanu, Nigerians, and his method of, saying, do this, do that.
We are still talking about the same thing. This is our own country. My friend, I think I left by here last night. I left here around after 11. December, in this hotel there. My friend came in from Canada and he's traveling tomorrow. He said that I must come today. And that night, I said, today I won't have. He said I should come. He said I should come to Canada. I said I will be in Canada. We are having IBA in Toronto. I will be there. But I won't stay more than 2 weeks. The point I'm trying to make is that when I'm traveling outside, my body will be telling me that Maswe don't belong here. Their weather, their food, their language will be. My body will tell me, especially those of us that are born and brought up in the village. So this is our country.